Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Misha and this is my channel where I post all planting related content, and if that's the kind of videos you like to watch, I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. So today I'm filming a video regarding my series My Hoya Alphabet, and I'm up to the letter E. And in this series, because I have so many species of Hoya, I'm going letter by letter so that I can focus on the growth, where I obtained the plant, and any tips and tricks that I might be able to share with you. So on the Hoyas with the letter E, I only have two, surprisingly enough. And so let's go ahead and get started. So the first Hoya, it's Hoya erythrostema shocking pink. I don't think that name is long enough. And I'm growing it in partial pon and the rest in leca. As you can see, the roots are really nice and healthy. It's kind of hard to see, it's so bright. So this is a nice chunky stem. I ended up getting this particular plant from HoyaPlants.com, and it was a cutting, a very good size cutting, I believe. And what I did is, if you noticed, see how this new tendril, it's very thin in comparison to the chunky stem that it came with. So when it comes to this particular plant, I just ended up chopping it and propagating it because I knew that I would be happier with a fuller plant. Since the moment I ended up purchasing it, it was a cutting. So I rooted it in, I want to say in leca, and it has loved leca ever since. I do flush it once a month, and it hasn't given me any pest, pressures. I don't think I have ever seen a pest, knock on wood, on this plant, and that's what I love about it. I'm really happy that it gave me this long stem, and I think it's interesting that it focuses on providing you with one leaf at a time. And I don't think in the time that I've had this plant, which is going on 2 years, I believe, year and a half to 2 years, it has never grown two leaves in the same stem since the moment that I've received it. So I received it that way, but in my care it has only done one leaf at a time. Usually it does have two that want to grow out. I'm not sure if you are able to see that, but one always ends up drying out. So I don't know, she's just funky that way, but she looks beautiful. What do you guys think of my Miss Erythrostema shocking pink? It has never flowered for me. I don't think it's gonna flower anytime soon. It has never provided me with a peduncle, and I have other Hoyas that are younger than this one that have. So I think this one's gonna be a very hard one to flower for me. It might take 3 to 4 years. But I don't mind, because in the meantime she can look gorgeous. And yeah, so this, not much to say about her. I do keep it in a very bright indirect light, and the normal humidity for it, it's in the range between 50 and 65 where I have her. So yeah, it's just an easy Hoya. So if you decide to get something like this, I would recommend either getting a full, established plant so that you have something big from the get-go, or if you purchase a cutting, to just be extremely patient, because she does take forever. At least, under my conditions. The very last one, it's Miss Hoya erythrina. This particular Hoya, it's beautiful. She was rooted in leca, and let me tell you, she loves it. But this is another one that is super slow growing. As I grabbed it, because it had a stem that I ended up chopping, because he had only given me one extra leaf since I had her. No, I'm lying. The curvy leaves are leaves that grew under my care. I ended up getting this one at HoyaPlants.com as well. I think it cost me like $25, $20. And it was a cutting that I rooted. It did give me, yeah, it did give me these 2 leaves, that's what this one is known for, is the wonky leaves. They could get extremely sun stressed. I do have it in a bright full spectrum light, but it hasn't done any sun stressing for me. As I grabbed it right now, I just noticed that it has a new growth point. Do you see it? Right there. That actually made me happy, because this one is really slow growing, and I don't think, you know, I do know that some plants are going to be very slow growing while others just, you know, shower you with leaves and growth and whatever, but it's kind of like annoying. Like, I am like trying to give it the best life, you know, the best light, the best humidity. I kept her in my IKEA cabinet, and I think that's honestly why it gave me that growth point. So I think I'm gonna put it back there, because I had taken it out and just placed it in a terrarium, but with not such a extreme lighting. It's growing in medium lighting right now. So the Retrostema Shocking Pink, it's definitely in bright indirect light, and this one now in medium light. But they both get plenty of humidity, so I'm not sure. To me, they're slow growers, but they are actually so beautiful. I do see them being sold for a lot of money. I think that's the reason behind it. It's because they're very, very slow growers. And I ended up chopping this one because it did have long stems, to see if they would do something. And let me show you the progress on that after 2 months at least, which it isn't much. It isn't much. I'll be right back. So here it is. So I had cut a lot of the little stems, and it did grow a new leaf. It has roots. A lot of them are just single stems, to see if it does something, to see if it activates something. This is dried up, so I'm gonna cut that. I don't know how I missed it, because usually once a week when I go around to wash my plants and to water them, anything that is dead or dry, I cut it, I remove dead leaves. I try to do as much maintenance as possible to avoid pests coming into my home. But I did notice that there is a little growth point on the main one with the leaf, this one right here. And I did notice I don't know what to do with this, because it's growing all that growth points. Let me move this down. But it doesn't have roots below that. Like, so I think I'm just gonna wait and see what it does, and maybe add some leca. But it seems like all the stems activated in the water. I must admit that when I do put the plants in water, I do tend to give them the I do tend to feed them, even though they don't have any roots or anything. But so when they're ready, they can like be fed already. So, but all of them activated, all the sticks activated without leaves. I'm excited. So I think I'm gonna place them in sphagnum. I don't know, because sometimes, you know, sometimes when they're doing great, you think you want to do something else because you think you're doing the right thing, and you end up screwing it up. So I might wait a few more weeks, and then if I don't see any more roots, because I do see that there's some that are starting to form, but if I don't see any more roots, then yeah, I'll place it in sphagnum. But I'm gonna give it some more time because they all activated. So I'm gonna have a bunch of erythrinas, and then this one is the one with all the roots and the little growth point. So yeah, water, just water with some fertilizer. And sometimes I do add, I may have to take it out of that particular one because that one, I may have to get something that it's a bit more narrow so that when I do bring them out again, they're not struggling to come out and cause damage. So I'll do that after the video, because I just noticed that this particular area is too narrow and I'm gonna hurt it if they keep growing in the future to get them out of there. Wow. So yeah, this is after 2 months in water. I do feel like Hoyas do root much faster for me if I place some leca in the vase, or if I place them in sphagnum. But anyhow, so good news. I'm so glad I made this video, because now I have like updates that I didn't even know, because at this point I was like, you know what, unless it's like rotten, it's just gonna remain there and just get water, you know. And it does get rainwater though. During the summer it rains weekly in Florida, so I have collected milk jugs and 5-gallon buckets that I purchased at Home Depot, and I just put them outside and collect rainwater, and my plants get watered with rainwater during all summer, so that's good. And then when it's not the summer, I do have a distiller and I work on that, you know, for the finicky ones. But yeah, so that's gonna be it for now. What do you guys think about my plants that begin with the letter E? So this is it for my Hoya alphabet. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and let me know what you think about the growing conditions, and if you have the same plant in a different growth condition that might be much better than mine, and you know, you can teach me something. But anyhow, thanks again, and until next time, bye.